Welcome to Coffee Hour number 2. I'm your host, Echo Fan Grey Wolf. So, this is going to be a video that's probably going to cost me a few followers. And I figured I'd go ahead and apologize to you now before I make the video. So, I do apologize for what I'm about to do. I don't apologize for what I'm about to say. And this video must be made because after December, I will more than likely not make any more Trump videos because I would like to keep my freedom. And since he has literally said that anybody who says anything bad about him, he's going to lock up for a year. Alright? So we're going to go ahead and get this out of the way right now. And I'll have one more month that I'll have freedom of speech about this bastard. So we're going to go ahead and talk about this. I made about Raisins. 9. So in this, I don't know what the fuck that was. Why are you not getting back on the profile? I've made about 9 videos about this, so I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm an American soldier. I served. I didn't serve the way I wanted to serve. I made about 9 videos about people who have served, who have voted for Trump. If you are a Trump supporter, I have nothing against you personally. I will question your morals until the end of time. And now I'm going to explain why. 1. They have outwardly admitted that they are fixing to do Project 2025. He himself has said that he wanted to get rid of the Constitution. And if you are not a soldier, a Marine, an airman, a seaman, a National Guard, an Air Guard, a Coast Guard, a Marine, or any of the armed forces, then you might not understand the ramifications of what's about to happen. So I'm going to break it down for you. I don't want you to be afraid. This is a hypothetical for now, but you should know that hypotheticals are closer to the truth than you may think. They have voted away the woman's right to choose. Make sure you keep that in mind as you watch the rest of this video. They have taken away the woman's right to choose. If he takes out the Constitution, that means not you, not me, not Jesus will be able to speak our minds. We won't have the right to do the shit that we normally do. He's already talking about a massive deportation, which means he wants to get every immigrant who looks like me out of the country. By that I mean the people who came from south of the border versus the people who came over from Canada that looks like him. Alright? Let's go ahead and address this because a lot of y'all don't want to address this. The man's a fucking racist. Period. You might not consider that because he's probably not affecting you unless you're a fucking token. And if you're a fucking token, well, here's the thing. A racist person can't tell the difference between you and me. Alright? A racist person who does not like black people they're going to see you as a black person. Even if you're not black, even if you are from any place. If your skin tone is brown, your ass is going down. There's no simpler way to put that. And more importantly, I made a video about people who served, who voted for Trump, where this man has video after video after video of him insulting people who serve, Gold Star families, John McCain, telling us who served that we are suckers and losers. And the bulk of the military that are racist voted for this bastard. So let me explain this to you young ladies in case there are ladies who follow me. If there are men who follow me and you're Trump supporters, the door is always open for you to come back. But don't wait till it's too little too late to understand that everything that I'm telling you is beyond a possibility and that shit's about to happen. I'm 51. I understand that. I literally turned 51 back in August. And yes, I need to shave. Y'all can see the gray right there. But this isn't about me. This is about y'all. Because here's how this is going to work. If he takes away the First Amendment right, that is your amendment to speak. If he takes the Second Amendment right, that is your amendment to hold and own a firearm. If he makes this like North Korea or Russia or China, you don't have any rights anymore. Why don't you ask the people who immigrate from those countries, why did you come here? Because if we spoke out on things, we were eliminated. It's been like that since the fucking 60s and the 70s, but y'all aren't paying attention. Because you're believing someone who looks you dead in the face and says that in 10 years they're going to be fucking your daughter. But for somehow or another, you don't find that to be sick and crazy and insane. But y'all support that shit. You literally support that shit. And so you may not like what I said, but I said what the fuck I said. See, the thing about the truth is, people always want to spin shit to fit their narrative. And I'm sure people are going to tell you Echo Fang Grey Wolf is trying to spin shit to fit their narrative. So, here's how we fix this problem of you believing that I'm spinning shit to fit my narrative. One, I don't give a fuck if you voted for him. I will question your morals to the end of time. First question is, do you have sisters? Do you have a mom that is of childbearing age? Do you have an aunt that is of childbearing age? Do you have any women in your life besides your girlfriend that has a functioning uterus? Because all of their rights are going to be gone when he makes it illegal to have an abortion. So let me explain this and why I'm pissed off. One, I do have sisters. We don't always get along, but I don't want to see anything happen to them. Some of my sisters have daughters. Very young daughters. And a lot of young women can tell you that some girls start their cycles long before they hit teenage years. The youngest woman in history to have a baby was a 6-year-old girl in a foreign country. But see, y'all don't want to believe that shit. It's fine. Don't believe it. Go ahead, use Google. It's your fucking friend, because that's how I found out. Because I simply Googled, how old was the youngest girl to have a baby? Let's see if we can do that again. And let's see if Google's going to be my friend. Let's find out. Because, y'all don't want to believe the shit. If I can get my damn phone to work, that would be great. It's going to take a minute. How old was the youngest girl to give birth? Okay, see, normally this shit would talk. What is the age of the youngest girl to get pregnant? This one says 7. Right there, it says 7. The one below it. So, let's read it out for you. What was the youngest girl? What's the youngest age a girl can get pregnant? Can a 7-year-old get pregnant? A woman can be pregnant and have a baby as soon as she begins ovulating. Down here, in 1939, Lena Medina gave birth to a healthy baby boy. The only noteworthy detail was the girl's age. She was 5 years old. Let's point that out again. Right there. She was 5 years old. Now, it says who was 5 years old, who gave birth. 6 weeks after the diagnosis, on May 14th in 1939, Medina gave birth to a son, Garbo, by Caesarean section. She was 5 years old, 7 months, and 21 days old. The youngest person in history to give birth by necessity by her small pelvis. So she had to have a C-section. That's that word I couldn't pronounce. How old was the girl? How old was the oldest woman? 74 years old. Reportedly gave birth to twins and maybe older even giving birth. Let that shit sink in. Since I read it and I showed it, let it sink in for a minute. And now let me talk to y'all about The Handmaid's Tale. Because that's what you're voting in for. Now, I'm a military vet. I didn't get to serve the way I wanted, and y'all know that. My DD-214 is either in here or in a box in the closet. but I have one. My dog tags are over there. You've seen my veteran card many a times on this damn thing, and you've seen my cat card with the Geneva Convention and all that shit. The president, who's about to come in January, wants to have a complete and total abortion ban. So can you imagine coming home to find your 6-year-old niece, sister, daughter pregnant by somebody that you know or didn't know who just broke in your house and decided, I'm going to fuck your daughter. And there's nothing you can do about it. And there will be no exceptions. Rape, incest, it doesn't fucking matter. But y'all voted that shit in. Now, getting back on the military thing. For the last 2.5 decades, sexual assault of women in the military has been rampant. Only 25% of that shit has been reported. And I'm giving you an estimate. It might be lower than that. It might actually be 15%. Some young ladies that I follow on TikTok are veterans. One Navy, one Air Force, one Army. Or 2 Navy and 1 Army. They were sexually assaulted by their fellow brothers and sisters in arms, or their fellow brothers rather, because women don't really rape women, but they didn't get justice. And military people voted in Trump. That hurt my feelings, because Trump has told us all that we who serve are suckers and losers. Let that sink in while you're passing judgment on me on this video. Top that off, I'm part Native American, and 64% of Native Americans also voted this bastard in. Me and a whole bunch of other Native Americans on TikTok have been angry as fuck about this since fucking the 5th of this month. So last week. And I've made my point abundantly clear. I'm a mixed Native. I'm not a full-blood. But I am angry as fuck. And so are a bunch of the full-bloods. They're angry as fuck that a bulk of Native Americans would rather give up land and territory, because that's exactly what's going to happen when he gets back in. By the way, Mexicans are also Native Americans too. Before colonization, Mexico was a fucking lot bigger than you think it is. Mexico was the bulk of Florida, the bulk of Texas, and every state towards California. But you wouldn't know that because you probably didn't read books about how big Mexico was before colonization. So, let's recap. You got military people, male and female, who are voting in Trump. He already won, so it doesn't matter. Who have voted in Trump. Women in the military are raped at an unexpectedly high rate. However, the reports are unexpectedly low because the women don't get justice when this shit happens. And when they do report it, they blame the woman. They always say that the woman is promiscuous. Why? Because she's pretty and she said no. So you decide to just body slam her on the ground anywhere at the barracks and just fuck the shit out of her, and you order everyone out the room except for her. Because that can happen because you have to follow your orders. I'm a soldier. I know how this shit works. They want to have a fucking personal talk with you without your battle buddy. That's one now illegal because you have to have your battle buddy at all times. But sometimes people follow their orders to the letter. And if a sergeant or a lieutenant wants to have a personal talk with you, and I have been there when I was in Bravo getting transferred to Gulf, and why I didn't go to Gulf, and they wound up putting me in the Delta because I threatened to kill a drill sergeant because they kept fucking picking with me. It's the only time I've ever been alone with my captain. Other than that, I've never had to deal with the captain. Anywhere else that I've been on the Army base in Fort Benning, I was never with myself. It was always a battle buddy. Always a battle buddy. But let's say I was a female. Let's say the captain decided, oh, is that how you want to play? And he beats me up, bends me over, fucks me. And this often happens more than you think to women in the military. And yet stupid bitches in the military decided that they wanted to vote this man in who walks into little girls' rooms when he owned the team pageant. I'm not looking. So yeah, you can vote for Trump. Don't get mad when I question your fucking morals. This man wants a nationwide, from Florida to Maine, from Maine to Washington State, from Washington State to the end of California, and all the way back into Texas. No abortion. So I ask you, people who voted for Trump, who are probably going to not be my friend after today, do you give a fuck about the women in your life? Do you give a fuck that if your family decides to join the military and your niece or your cousin or your daughter gets fucking raped by her cadre or her drill sergeant or her captain, and there's nothing they can do if she winds up pregnant because no, abortion means her and it means you if you are a female. So if you're a female, you're just walking down the street, and not me, but somebody who's been watching you for about 6 weeks just decides, hey, sexual assault time. I'm going to prison, but I'm going to enjoy getting this pussy, and I'm going to enjoy every bit of it, because this bitch ain't going to be able to do nothing but keep that baby that I put in her, even though she didn't want it. And what about her boyfriend? He's not going to be able to do anything about it. She wanted the baby with him, not the baby with some guy who body slammed her and took her pussy because it was okay, because Trump made it okay. So yeah, I'm going to hate that bastard until the end of time. And I'm going to hate every woman in the military. I'm going to hate every woman in Congress who decided that no other woman was more important. And doctors are not going to give women who are dying from sepsis or a failed life form where the baby just doesn't go all the way to term, which if she bleeds out, she's going to die. There have been lots of videos about this, video commercials where a guy's girlfriend was fucking in the fetal position, in pain, and he went to call 911. The doctor told him what happened, and the doctor said she needed an abortion, and the congressman grabs it and says, I'm your new congressman. No way that shit's gonna happen. You'll still be able to have babies, just not with her. I hope y'all find that commercial, because maybe that's when reality's gonna set in. See, in Virginia, we had the speeding ticket law, where if I drive down 64, 295, or 288, or I-95, or even Route 10, exceeding the speed limit, regardless of how many miles, other than that 5 allotted miles, I have to pay $300. Where if you from New York or California just visiting drives through this motherfucker at 900 miles an hour, you only have to pay the standard amount of tickets, which was going really well until it wasn't. Because see, what was happening was all of the politicians who wrote that law for Virginia, it was their kids. Their kids was costing them thousands and thousands of dollars. Politicians don't give a fuck about you until it's something that happens to their children. I want you to think about that when you decide, we're going to unfollow Echo Fan Grey Wolf because we support Donald Trump, and though we don't have sisters, so we don't have to worry about it, but one day you might have a daughter. And this rule may never get rolled back. Roe v. Wade may never get fixed. Your daughter may be assaulted by someone. You might be a politician. And this is where you get fucked. You're not above the law either. Trump's above the law because y'all voted his ass in instead of sending him to prison. But it was okay for him to go in those teenage girls in the teen pageant and say he's not looking. But he's only covering up one fucking eye. It was okay for him to grab women by the pussy without their fucking permission. But that's okay because he can do it. And what the fuck makes you think you can do it? Well, now you probably will be able to. I hope every woman in the fucking United States becomes a fucking ninja. And I hope they hurt every evil man. Not the innocent ones. But men who just want to take their pussy. I hope they destroy them. Also, Lorena Bobbitt. So, go ahead. Start fucking with these women if you want to. And I hope they chop your fucking shit off. Because it'll be exactly what you fucking deserve. Consent's a thing. Trump doesn't believe in consent. I bet you he would if it was his kids on the line. But that's okay. They got Secret Service, so they'll never be in trouble. Just like those bogus ass assassination attempts. But hey, freedom of speech. Better enjoy it while you can. Because once he eliminates the Constitution, we'll all be behind the 8-ball. Except for if you have a vagina, you're going to have it 10 times worse. And just think, 75% of the women of MAGA, didn't give a fuck that they have a vagina. And here's that thing that you women need to be aware of. Always watch your surroundings. Don't trust anybody. Don't even trust women, because a woman's worst enemy is another woman. If you don't know them from birth and you don't know their political affiliation, don't say shit to them. Hi, bye. If you need a tampon, go to the bathroom and unroll some toilet paper. If you need a Tampax, go to the bathroom and unroll some toilet paper. If you have to hit someone, hit them in the throat. Punch down. That way you can collapse the fucking windpipe. Punch them in the solar plexus. Break the fucking ribs. Do what you gotta fucking do. If you need them in the nuts, you break their fucking nose. You put that shit through their fucking skull. You'll get a lot less time for murder than this son of a bitch will get for rape because you can't have an abortion. Now, if I pissed any of y'all off within this 20 minutes of this video, it's probably because you're a Trump supporter. And you don't give a fuck about your mom, you don't give a fuck about your niece, your sister, or even your daughter. And if you're in the military and you're female, you don't give a fuck about yourself. Karma doesn't forget an address. And after December, I won't be talking about Trump anymore. So then y'all are free to come back. And I won't be saying anything good about him unless there's a fucking gun to my head. And even still, no. Because I give you guys the truth, 99.9. I don't give you the whole 1,000 because some of y'all can't handle it. But I just gave you 99.9 and you can go do your research. Central Park 5. They don't look like Indians to me. Why don't you go ask China? Why don't you ask Billy Bush why he still doesn't have a job because he was fired because Trump was on a hot mic saying he can grab women by their pussy. That had nothing to do with Billy Bush. Extras should be ashamed of themselves for taking this man's job and his livelihood. He hasn't really recovered, but I'm pretty sure his wife has a decent job to keep them afloat. But that's besides the point. It's also not fair that Billy Bush would lose his job for some shit that he even had nothing to do with. But that's how you know that the world is full of racist and sexist people. And if you are a female, don't stop with me. Go and learn as many different martial arts as you can. I'm going to show you something. This is an axe. 18 bucks. It comes with this knife. At Walmart. It also comes with this knife and a sharpened stone. You're not going to be able to walk around with this thing because it's kind of big. But you carry this bitch with you. You don't ask any questions. Any male MAGA come at you. Any male in general. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be telling you this. They have a dick. You are no longer going to be trusting them when January gets here. If you have boyfriends and y'all aren't ready for children, do not let that motherfucker put a baby in you. Gentlemen, if you have girlfriends and with the upcoming things that are going on, stock up on condoms. Consent is a thing. If your girlfriend doesn't want to have sex, go jerk off. Porn is free. And that goes for every good gentleman. Go jerk off. I know it's not the same as the real McCoy, but if you can't get an abortion, you need to make sure that you keep your woman safe. I may have just pissed off a whole lot of more people of the 594 people because I lost a fan. Well, I lost somebody. You can't say it was a fan. But if you don't give enough about your girl, the government damn sure don't. And they're going to make sure that your girlfriends, your moms, your sisters, your cousins, anybody with a vagina and a working uterus and fallopian tubes will become the Handmaid's Tale. You don't like what I said? Don't believe me? It's fine. We just entered the fuck around and find out stage. We are in the end game. And fucking Trump is Thanos. Thanks for watching. This is Comfort number 2. Be seeing you.